Hi, and welcome to Everlaw. My name is Alex, and I'm on the user education team. In this video, we'll learn how to get started with uploading native data to Everlaw. To begin an upload, we'll go to the Uploads page. Here, we must answer the question, do we have native data or processed data? Let's learn the difference. Native and processed data can be distinguished in different ways. How the documents are formatted, whether they have Bates numbers, and where the documents came from. First, the origin. Native data usually comes directly from your client, from the original custodian or owner of the documents, or from a data collection service. Processed documents, on the other hand, usually come from opposing counsel. Next, the Bates numbers. Native documents usually don't have a Bates number. Processed documents usually do have a Bates number. Since there are exceptions to both of these rules, whether or not a document is Bates stamped is not always sufficient to determine what kind of data it is. Finally, the most certain way to know whether your documents are native or processed is by their format. The definition of native data is files in their original electronic format. This means that the documents have not been altered in any way. Let's use the example of emails. I have a dataset on my computer. When I open up the documents, my computer detects them as emails. If I were to open this one, it would open in an email program like Outlook. Therefore, it's native data because the documents are in their original format, email files. Here's another dataset. These documents appear to be PDFs. I'll open one again. It opens in my PDF viewer, but as we look at the document, it is an email, or it was an email at one time. But now it's been processed into a PDF, so this is processed data. You might have a dataset that looks like this, with folders for natives, images, text, and data. But be careful. This folder structure is actually an example of processed data, even though it has a native folder. If you've determined that your documents are processed data, take a look at these resources instead for assistance in uploading them. If you do indeed have native data, then let's learn about the different ways you can upload it. There are 3 ways to upload native data to Everlaw, depending on where the documents are stored. Number 1, drag and drop the documents from your local machine. Number 2, connect to one of our cloud applications. And number 3, connect to a cloud storage space. If the files are already on your computer, simply drag and drop them into the uploader to get started. We do have a few formatting guidelines for native data. First, it's best practice to compress your native data into a zip file. This is actually required for uploads with 50 or more files. Next, organize your files by custodian, which refers to the original owner of the documents. For example, place all files from custodian A into a subfolder called custodian A. This will make it easier to assign custodians during the upload. If you'll be connecting to one of our cloud applications for your upload, you'll need the correct permissions in the respective application. For example, to connect to Office 365, you'll need to be a Microsoft Global Admin. We have specific instructions for uploading from each cloud connector in our knowledge base. Simply locate the application and follow the steps. The cloud storage options work very similarly. Select the logo for where your documents are stored, log into the connector, and select the files to upload. One thing to note about uploading from our cloud options is that you'll only be able to select one custodian for the entire upload. There are a few ways to get around this. The first is to separate the upload into pieces based on the custodian. This will create a separate upload card on the homepage for each custodian's document set. The second option is to download the files to your computer and then use the drag and drop method to upload them to Everlaw. This way, you'll be able to select multiple custodians for the upload. Once you've added your files to Everlaw, just follow the steps in the upload wizard to complete it. you'll be asked a few questions in the process. The first of which is how you would like to deduplicate the upload. There's 3 options to choose from. Number 1, global deduplication, which will deduplicate on a family level across all documents already on the platform and within the upload. Number 2 is custodian level, which will deduplicate on a family level within one custodian's set of data. This means that if 2 different custodians had the same document family, both would be uploaded, whereas if global deduplication was selected, only one copy would be uploaded. The last option is no deduplication, where all documents would be uploaded to the platform.
Finally, you can choose to deduplicate these documents against process documents that are already uploaded into your database. One note here is that deduplication against process data will not respect document families.
Next, you'll select the custodian for the document set. And finally, add any review work to all of the documents in this upload. This could include adding a specific code like responsive or confidential to all of the documents in this upload, or adding them all to a binder. Once you've made your selections, your job is complete. If you have questions during the upload process, feel free to reach out to our support team for assistance. You can find their contact information by clicking on the question mark in the top right corner of the platform.